This is why we can't have nice things. What is that? Another beautiful Saturday. Another video. All right, I want to do a video about the camping gear that I use when we go out. It's not like all-inclusive or, you know, exhaustive or anything like that. In my opinion, I think that when it comes to camping gear, it's always a learning experience. Every single trip you go on, you figure out something else you might need, something else that helps you, something else that makes you comfortable, something else that you might be missing. So this video, it's just gonna be what I use, and it's gonna always be evolving. So you're always gonna kind of be seeing new pieces of gear as the videos go on. Today's LaCroix, Cran Raz. Let's get started. So one of the first things I have here is this big Agnes tent. It's called the Doghouse 6. Again, part of the talking about the evolution of, you know, the gear that you get. I got a little 2-man tent, which was just supposed to be for me and my 2 kids that I bring camping, but realized that we're gonna quickly grow out of that one. So I wanted to get a 6-man tent when this little thing starts to come along. He's only 1. But he's probably going to be coming in a couple years, and wanted to get something bigger, something so we can spread out a little bit so we're not all smushed up, and then, you know, we could use a heater in there and just be a little bit more cozy. So this is the Big Agnes Doghouse 6. Very nice tent. Next up for sleeping, I got this inflatable, well, it's a self-inflating sleeping mat, and then I do have to blow it up just a little bit to get it to a really comfortable fullness. This is the UST Felmatic Ultra Comfort Self-Inflating Air Mat. This thing, I was pleasantly surprised with it. It's got a really, you know, small footprint to it. It's got these carry handles, which is nice, but I do highly recommend it if you're kind of a, you know, you have a hard time sleeping while you're camping. Super cozy, and what's nice about it is you can actually fill it up to, you know, whatever comfortable fullness you like. Maybe you like it more firm, maybe you like to have a little bit more squish to it. It can accommodate to all of those for you. I also got this little self-inflating camping pillow as well. It's around here somewhere, I can't find it, but I just used it for the first time this last camping trip. It was actually a really nice little upgrade. I used to just like bunch up a sweater or something like that and just kind of stuff it under my head, but it would always kind of flatten out and move around and stuff like that. But you could easily find any one of those inflating pillows, you know, online or from your favorite, you know, camping or outdoor activity store like a Big 5, or I don't know. I got mine from Big 5, but you can find them just about anywhere that sells, you know, camping gear and whatnot. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh. Next up, I got this duffel bag that just holds all of our sleeping bags. It's pretty nice because it just keeps them all together. They're not flopping around everywhere. It just keeps them nice and organized. Oh, here's the inflatable pillow. It's this self-inflating pillow slash seat cushion. Oh, you can use that as a seat cushion too. I don't know that I want to put my face where I put my butt, so I'm just going to keep this for my head right now. And then for one of the kids, we also have this other self-inflating, you know, sleeping pad, and then we also bring some like yoga mats that are nice and thick that make the sleeping more comfortable too. Right? Were you cozy sleeping in there? Yep. This next box is where we keep most of the supplies. Here's a camping shovel. Shovel is good just for messing around, digging holes for the kids. It's also good for burying your number 2 when you're out there in the field. So it's nice and tucked away and out of the way. But the shovel has multiple uses. This is just a nice little utility shovel. Packs nicely in the box here, and nice little tool to have. Next up, I got this axe here. This axe has a couple purposes. It's nice for splitting wood. You can also use the backside as a hammer for hammering in tent stakes. I haven't really used much, haven't used it for much else. I mean, can cut down some branches, processed wood and has a hammer. So this thing's lasted pretty good, and still going strong. Here we have a basic tarp, goes underneath the tent to protect the tent from getting punctured and things like that. Just keeps the tent nice and safe, and it actually kind of just creates a nice little barrier for between the dirt and the tent. And then obviously just got some tent stakes to tie everything down. I have a lot of tent stakes actually. There's more. Whoa. Can never have enough tent stakes. I recommend having a good cup. This is good for coffees in the morning, keeps it nice and hot. Good quality, it's Yeti obviously. But I really enjoy this cup. You know, I'm sure there's many other options. I mean, honestly, this whole thing is about just like finding what you like, finding what works for you. I'm just letting you know what I like, what I found to be nice and useful, and everybody's gonna be different, you know? Everyone's pack out is gonna be a little bit different to fit their needs and comforts, and that's kind of just what it's all about. Next is this little bag that the big duffel bag actually came in. And in here, I just keep these trash bags for number 2, and have some like paracord in here for if we need to tie anything down. Have a couple little bundles here. Have this LED rope, which we're still trying to mess around with and make that work so we can see our campsite at night when we're, you know, rolling around in the desert or whatnot. Some, you know, reusable utensils in here. Some extra batteries, some tent patches. So it's just kind of to keep some miscellaneous things, small little pieces, so they're not just floating around the box in here. This here's the Kershaw. This is actually really nice for cutting down wood too. You kind of just smash it into some wood, hit it down with another piece of wood, and it splits wood really nicely. Got to really put this thing to use the last trip. But I don't know, I love knives, have a few of them. Probably not as much as some people, but you know, knives are kind of fun to collect. But this is a really good one. Here's a collection of propanes. These little camping propane bottles. These are really good for multiple uses. Stoves, these portable stoves that you see people use camping, but the reason I actually use these is for this guy, this Mr. Heater. This comes in really handy when it's really cold in the tent. This is actually nice because it has a tip over shut off switch, so if it accidentally gets kicked over or tipped over in the middle of the night, it'll actually turn off, and it will actually turn off if it senses low oxygen levels, which is really nice. So it's pretty safe. We do keep it well ventilated in the tent. We keep all the flaps open and all the little windows open, so you know we don't get any accidents happening. So anyway, this has been a very useful item in our arsenal here. Now this jet boil has proven to be very useful. This actually is the bread and butter of making coffee in the morning. Had this nice little gas lighter here. Just stick it on the, you know, you just hook it up to the bottom side there, turn the gas on, little flame comes out, stick the cup right on top. And what's cool about this one is it actually has like a heat gauge on the side, so when it's full of water, this little wave looking thing actually will turn orange to let you know that the water is nice and hot, and then you can make your coffee, tea, or even cook up, you know, some food in there too. So that was a nice little addition to the collection. These are the fuel cartridges for the jet boil. Fuel cartridges for the jet boil. It's always good to have a couple extra of these, just in case one runs out. You can keep on going. Here's some coffee filters, which, you know, go together with the jet boil, but we also have this super cool filter thing that just hooks onto the top of a cup, and stick a filter in it, put your ground coffee in there, and pour the hot water over it and enjoy. This is a little handsaw. Obviously this is good for cutting branches and cutting wood and things like that. It's just handy to have, you know, in case we're in some really wooded areas and we just want to make like a little fort or just cut some branches for some fire, whatever the case may be. But don't use it too often, but again, it's a nice thing to have. Always need a first aid kit. There's always little bumps and bruises and scratches and scrapes. It's always a good idea to have a first aid kit. This one says for 2 people for 4 days. It's about all we really need. I don't think we need like a full-on, you know, super container full of like 100 band-aids or anything. We only go out for like a weekend at a time, so it's really all we need to take care of any accidents that might happen. This is kind of a silly little addition here, but this is a little broom and dustpan, and this is actually useful for sweeping out the tent, because the kids don't ever listen about not going in there with their shoes on. So there's always going to be a nice little layer of dirt or sand in the tent, so this is a handy little thing to sweep up all the sand that got stuck in there, right? Yeah. Also a nice little pack of baby wipes. So, you know, baby wipes are pretty multi-use, multi-function, especially when you have a baby. Good for the field, good for cleaning things, wiping your hands off if they get dirty, or after number 2, all kinds of uses. So I highly recommend always having baby wipes. Roasting sticks for s'mores, for obvious reasons. It's never a bad time to have s'mores. We've even had s'mores for breakfast one time. So these are always handy to have. Another multi-purpose tool, duct tape. You can use duct tape for just about anything and everything. This is a little ammo can for when we go on shooting camping trips. This just has some extra ammo, my ear protection, and a couple other little things like extra magazines and things like that. Here is a little 3-gallon jug of water. Might need to upgrade this soon. This has been working good because usually it's just me and the 2 older kids. And we use this for just about everything, for coffee, for obviously drinking water, just to rinse things off. So usually when we're going over, staying over a weekend somewhere, 3 gallons is usually enough. But this thing has come in handy quite often. Again, when we go shooting, this is my little tactical belt here. You know, holster for the pistol, extra magazine holders. And then inside this little pouch on the back here, it's a little canister. Can hold like extra, like not extra, but you know, matches or flints or things like that. It's the stuff that you want to keep dry. This is a waterproof container. Another little first aid kit with some band-aids and other things. And then also I keep a Gerber Multi-Tool in here. This is helpful. It just has all the little you know, has the pliers in it, and then all the, you know, little pocket knives and things like that on the outside, little tools, which comes in handy. Mostly it just is used for ripping splinters out. You know, we get a lot of splinters out there. But anyway, nice useful tool to have out there. Another knife, because you can't have enough knives. Another Gerber. And this here is my little field backpack. In here I just carry a lot of basic things, you know, like an extra jacket or sweatshirt, my wallet, my keys, just some basic other things. Usually I'll put my utility belt in here. Here's my gloves that I use, and then another bigger knife. And a headlamp. This is a really nice headlamp. I like this headlamp because it has obviously the regular white flashlight color, but then it also has red, and it has green, and it has flashing. This one's actually really cool too. It's got this little red blinking light for the back of your head too, so people can see you out there when it's really dark. So these are just a few things that I have here in the backpack. You can pretty much put anything in there. Also forgot to mention that this has a water pack on here, like a Camelback which is really nice when you're out there shooting all day and you don't want to keep going back and forth to your water. You just kind of have this on your back or, you know, sitting next to you, and you just take some sips of water there. The thing holds a lot of water, which is really nice. The newest addition to the collection is this hooked cooler. This holds a lot of stuff. Actually, I haven't used it yet, but I've used a cooler before, so I know what they do. But got this extra little shelf, and then this nice little divider, which is pretty cool. So I imagine putting, you know, filling this side with ice and putting all the LaCroix in there, and then on this side, you know, some other ice, and we'll put some meat and some other things that need to stay cool or cold, and then things that, you know, can stay cool but we don't want to like get wet as the ice melts. You know, we can put it in there. It's got these built-in bottle openers, and it's got these really nice durable handles here, and it's got some really good weight to it. Weighs a lot, so it's actually nice. It's got these rolling wheels on it here that can help you drag it around. Anyways, I'm excited to use this thing. Haven't used it yet, but I imagine it's going to be really useful. These little cup holders on top, which is really cool. And then for when you're out there catching fish, it's got these built-in rulers here, inches or centimeters, depending on what part of the world you're from. Also, it can be used as a seat. So that's about it. You know, the gear, like I said in the beginning, it's always evolving. You're always adding things, you know, maybe taking some things away that you might not need. But, you know, it's one of these things, like as the kids are getting older and as their needs change, as my needs change, as we realize what we might need to be more comfortable, you know, the gear is always going to be updated and changing. It's one of those things that it's a lot of fun. It's fun to get out there outdoors. It's fun to go camping. It's fun to be spending time with the family and creating memories. I encourage all of you to do the same. Thanks for hanging out and have fun. All right, we have the gear inspector making sure everything's up to code. How's it looking, Captain? All righty.